that Joe Biden will not be happy to hear. And it also shows how incredibly divided this country is.
Incredibly divided. Joe Biden isn't happy to hear because he and other very high-profile Democrats went to try to help Terry McAuliffe. Terry McAuliffe tried to nationalize this race by bringing in help from national Democrats, while Glenn Youngkin made it incredibly Virginia-focused. He said, this is about me, this is about the people in Virginia. That gave him the added benefit of being able to say, no, Mr. Former President Donald Trump, you can't come here. I don't want you to come here. So that strategy worked for him. But I think that what you saw in Glenn Youngkin is going to be, for sure, the playbook that Republicans are going to try to emulate going forward in 2022 and then also in 2024.
All right, so we're going to get straight into the biggest takeaways from last night's nationwide elections. One of the most important things to note is that the Democratic approach of making their campaigns about anti-Trump, anti-January 6th, the insurrection, and COVID-19, we're really starting to see the effectiveness of that wane. People are putting Trump behind them, as well as COVID-19 being something that we've adapted to and become accustomed as something that we're going to be dealing with for quite some time. Issues such as the economy, education, healthcare, things that we run into our everyday struggles, that's really beginning to take the center stage. So the Democrats really need to hop on board with that, but Biden's lackluster agenda, as we're seeing the infrastructure bill being talked down from $6 trillion all the way down to below $2 trillion. Things like that, not raising the minimum wage, not doing enough where more could have been accomplished. Those types of things are really going to hurt Democratic turnout as well as boost Republican turnout, because Democrats aren't going to be able to run on, look at all the nice stuff that we did while Biden was in office. You can't run on the economy and education when you had the opportunity to really do something about it and did not. And so that's really some of the biggest policy takeaways from the election. Now, we're looking that Glenn Youngkin defeated Terry McAuliffe yesterday in Virginia, but also that the GOP's poised for a full three-state office takeover for the first time in a decade, as well as it's looking like the GOP is also going to take over the House in Virginia. Also in New Jersey, Governor Murphy may end up inching this out. However, his opponent, Ciattarelli, is looking like he could possibly win this thing. Now, he ran on lowering taxes, which of course is something that no Republican or Democratic governor has been able to do in Jersey in recent history, so that probably won't happen. However, Governor Murphy made his campaign all about Trump, and he linked everything to that, and that really didn't assist him. Now, it's important to note that no Democratic governor from New Jersey has won re-election since 1977. So if Governor Murphy does win re-election, this will be something that hasn't happened for many decades. So we're going to keep you updated with that. Now, a big takeaway from the election is that Republicans still have a very strong ability to appeal to swing voters and independents, for people who aren't necessarily all the way on board with Trump, but Trump's base will still turn out to vote for Republicans. So we can't ignore that. Also, New York the GOP had some of their best gains that they've had since 2016. And it's also important to point out that Michelle Wu in Boston, she recently became mayor of Boston. Well, yesterday became mayor of Boston. And she's actually the first female and person of color to have that position in the history of Boston. So those are some of the really big takeaways from the election. The Democrats have to focus on everyday issues and move away from making everything about Donald Trump. Republicans still have a very strong ability to appeal to swing voters and independents. And the Democrats are going to have a really difficult time selling the public on issues that they could have had a bigger impact on while they have the supermajority. So we're going to keep you updated and let you know what's going on.